Hi guys! Well, today I'm going to be making some concrete vases using a couple of different materials. I also have some ideas on how to integrate some lighting into this, so we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I've got my materials here and I'm gonna try a couple of different versions of this because I'm not sure exactly what I want to accomplish here. So first of all, I have this. This is like a round, like a shipping container, like a storage for posters or, you know, things like that. Then I have various PVC pipes. And I have an empty plastic cup. I have some copper piping as well. I'm gonna be using a mortar mix. I've got water and I've got duct tape. First of all, I want to think about how high do I want this vase. I have this container. I thought I could divide this into 3 pieces. So I'm using this paper form and the plastic cup for the outer layer, so just deciding how tall I want these vases. I'm also measuring the pieces for the interior to be 1 inch less than the outer form, to give a little space at the bottom. So to help me with this project today, I'm going to be using the DIYs app, and this app has a ton of different projects on it, and when I was looking through it, this easy concrete vase project really caught my eye because I've been thinking about doing something similar. They use PVC pipes for their project, like that's cool if you don't want to highlight it, but I thought why not use copper? Like copper pipes in here fills the same function, but it would look a little bit interesting. So that's what I was thinking about using instead, but we'll see how that turns out. I got a pretty thick copper pipe here. So the idea here is to have a removable form for the outside, and the inside part gets left in there to hold water and flowers or whatever. I thought this was pretty clever because it's always tricky removing an interior form when you're working with concrete. It tends to get stuck and sometimes break the concrete in the process. So here I'm taping on bottoms on these forms using duct tape, then mixing some water, and I found that water is nice and smooth, no pebbles or anything, and I made a pretty loose mix, kind of like batter. So trying to figure out how much concrete mix I needed in each form before putting in the pipe. Then I let that dry for a couple of hours and then used a razor blade to cut the paper and the plastic and remove the outer form. And while the plastic cup one was nice, I really like the taller vases with a copper, so that's what I decided to focus on. I'm gonna add a cool lighting section to this next, but first, the DIYs app definitely came in handy for this part of the project. Now this app is free and it features a large library of DIY projects where they have a ton of stuff ranging from home improvements to woodworking, etc. And all of these projects come with step-by-step instructions, like what you need to complete it, what you need to know, and you can even use the app to purchase whatever tools and materials you need directly through Amazon without leaving the app. The DIYs app also allows you to speak directly with a professional contractor through a video chat, or you can speak over the phone. And perhaps with that extra help, you'll feel a bit more confident trying to tackle a project yourself instead of hiring a professional, and save some money in the process. That's pretty cool. You guys should try it out. It's free to download and it's available in the Apple Store for iPhone and Google Play for Android. And for a limited time, the video chat feature is free. And there's more information in the description. But now let's move on to the base part of this project. I mentioned some ideas for lighting before, right? I've got fairy lights. These are tiny LEDs with a battery pack. I figured it would be nice if first of all the vases had somewhere to sit in the wood. So just marking the position out and drilling 2-inch holes. The idea I had was to drill holes through the wood and then pop each individual light up through. So just doing some testing here. First I was thinking that maybe it's a little too thick, that I needed to remove some material in the bottom, but then I realized that it doesn't have to go all the way up because the light kind of shines through anyway, so I think that's going to work out just fine. I also wanted to map out the pathway of the lights so that I drill just enough holes and not too many, and so that they all reach as well. Next, I'm marking out the space on the underside for the battery pack. And I started chiseling out this space. Then I figured it's kind of hot outside and I could do this a lot faster if I used a plunge router instead, so yeah, that's what I did. But if you don't have a router, you could totally chisel this out instead. Whatever works, right? Finally, a little shellac for a finish. So I'm just looking at the battery pack here for the fairy lights, and my initial idea was that I was just gonna like house this in here, and then when I wanted to turn them on or off, I would just kind of take it out and switch the switch. But now I'm thinking that like that's fine, but as I open this, this has like a timer on it where you can put it to on or off or timer. So I was thinking that maybe what I should do instead, that would make it just a little bit nicer, is to kind of take this apart. Like I would still have the battery pack right here, but I would desolder it here and then kind of chisel a little channel so the switch would be right on the side here instead. So let's try that now. So a good example of how everyone should have a soldering iron. It really came in handy here and it wasn't very complicated. I just soldered off the leads and extended it with some wires. So if I put this kind of like right there. So after chiseling out that little space, time to test this concept out. I'm bending the fairy lights wire and putting it in each hole. Then, when I knew it looked good, I secured the lights with hot glue. A little dab on top of each hole to keep the lights in place. You don't really need much. I also hot glued in the chip and the battery pack. To protect the chip and the back, I'm adding some leather, and for the battery pack I used a screw on one side, so you can remove it to change the batteries. I also cut some thick pieces of leather for feet to raise the whole thing up. And there you have it. I think it turned out pretty cool. The concrete with the copper looks really neat, and I chose to show this simply with leaves, but of course flowers or anything. Even candles would look great in these. And the other thing I think is nice is the base. It's like a starry light picture shining upwards, and it just looks so cool. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell to be notified of new videos. So yeah, see you guys soon. Bye!